Hey guys, happy Fire Friday to you. FYR. Fire stands for Fund Your Reason, and this is where we talk about the eXp Realty platform and the ability to build great lives by serving others and helping them build great lives so that you can understand your reason, right? Why you're here, the big picture for you, your big why. And this is the best platform I have ever seen or ever witnessed in the real estate industry to help you fund that platform and build to true freedom in your lives. So sometimes you get to hear from me, and every once in a while, I bring in a good friend who I just believe has some incredible stuff to share that I think is going to be really valuable to you and hopefully match with your style, gives you some awesome ideas. And I've got a good buddy of mine coming to us from Colorado. So Jason Kay is here. He is out in Colorado, up in the mountains, doing really, really awesome stuff. He and I had a chance to hang out together in Colorado recently, and we were chatting. And I was like, "Man, you need to come. My people need to hear from you." So, Jason,
Awesome.
my man, thank you for being here, buddy. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you've got going on.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm going to give you my far back background just to make a point. Um, I have a master's from Columbia that I got while working full time when I was an engineer at Bell Labs. Got 35 patents, most of them while working at Bell Labs, and spent 18 years in engineering. So great intro for real estate. But seriously, though, what really made the transition, what made it easy was I got my PMP and PMI, which is project management, which, if you're working with buyers, that's the whole buyer side once they sign a contract.
Mhm.
So fell into that pretty easy. And I was also doing some inside sales, so I wasn't afraid to pick up the phone, but I needed a reason to call. I don't like cold calling. My wife, no problem. She's one of those, 100 people in the room. She's the only one that raises her hand. Yeah, I like cold calling. Everyone else is looking at her going, weirdo. But the reason why I bring that up is because that cold calling is what really started us on our growth for our attraction for our group.
Okay.
So I've kind of jumped around, kind of gone full circle here, but you've got a little bit of a flavor about me. So in the last 5 years or so, I've become a CE instructor in Colorado, teaching basically buyer agency and how to get the buyer agency agreement signed. I wrote a book to go along with it. We've got a group of 90 people right now, so really psyched about that, and we're growing.
Nice.
And let's see what else. Oh, and I taught at EXP for 4 years on the same stuff. So, buyer agency, yeah, that's my jam. And, we kind of use that for attraction as well.
I love it. I love it. So this gives hope because here's the thing. There's a lot of like, the team leader, recruiter, whatever, the high D, high I, like your wife Trish out there. But,
Yep.
that was kind of my style. I could bang out cold calls, whether I liked it or not didn't matter because it was just like means to the end and just crush it. I liked the
Yep.
results that it got, kind of a thing. Eat what you
Yep.
kill. But that's a really small percentage of the overall population, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It
So
definitely is.
so like here you are, you're like a high level engineer, right? I mean, Columbia, come on.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
that's a real deal.
Yep.
Um,
Did that part-time while working full-time. I was thinking to myself initially, I'm cheating. That's the easy way to do it. And everyone goes, no, absolutely not.
in my free time, I went to Columbia. So that is a different behavioral style and a different mindset. Your perspective, the way you see the world
Totally.
is different, but there's a lot of people who have a different behavioral style and they go, I don't think what I hear from a lot of people when I talk to them is I don't want to be a recruiter, right? So
Yep.
revenue share isn't for me. Like that's
Yep.
cool that EXP has that for the people who want to do that, but that's
Yep.
not a reason I would join the company or that doesn't create any interest for me
I've
because I
heard
want to
that
be a
so many
recruiter.
times.
Yeah.
And the people who say it are usually the ones that turn around and go, what, how much are you making? How do I start this?
Yeah.
So don't discount those people when they say that because you might think you know who's going to be the big person blowing up your organization that's going to be recruiting. Like we've brought in a couple of teams, one of which we sold our business to when we relocated to
Hmm.
Colorado. And we're like, oh man, these guys are going to absolutely smash it out of the park. No,
No.
not at all. It was pretty much who they've brought in, and once those people leave, they replace them, and they're still the same size.
Yeah.
It's the other people that you're thinking, well, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. A lot of times it's 3, 4 years in
Yeah.
before they start doing anything.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing to me. And we were one of those. For us, it was 2, 3 years while we were in before we really started in earnest. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, so what changed for you in your perspective when, from the like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not really for me. My focus is here to maybe I should put some time into this.
It was mostly a timing thing. There were a bunch of things that happened at once. The first one is we moved to Colorado. The
Hmm.
second one is we were dealing with aging parents. So both of us were flying back to the East Coast a lot. It's a 4-hour flight each way.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of time. Here we are in a brand new platform. It's like, oh, it's just like, no, it's not at all like where we were.
Hmm.
So as we're doing that, it's like, well, what are we talking about? How are we doing this? Part of it was we just didn't have time.
Yeah.
Part of it is we were rebuilding a business because, well, we needed income. Part
Hmm.
of it was, dealing with family. And, when you run out of time, it's like, are you going to take on something new? Or are you going to try to do what you do well?
Yeah.
So we had to get our house in order before we were ready to get things going. And I've seen that time and time again with agents. It could be they've relocated to new areas. It could be as simple as, I don't feel comfortable talking about EXP. And the response from that is very simple. It's like, great, don't. People who have raised their hands who've said, why have you gone over? Go, I'll tell you what, let's do coffee. I want to introduce you to my sponsor. You set it up as a three-way.
Yeah.
And several people have done that and brought a couple people in. Several people have just done Zoom calls. It's all good, whatever works. The key point is you don't need to know it all.
Yeah.
And, that goes back to the whole piece on how did we really get going? What was the big tipping point for us to get here, and how are we driving it forward? Because I've heard a lot, it's like your first ceiling that you hit is around 100.
Hmm.
And we got up to like 95 and dropped down a little bit, and we've been hovering right around 100. But it's just like your production business. You have to change what you're doing in order to break through and get it to the next level.
Yeah.
Next one is 200. Next one's what? 400 or 500 after that. And then it starts building on its own.
Yeah.
So you know, it really is the mindset. And if you look at it in eyes of what did I do in my production? You start as a brandy new agent. Were you on a team or were you solo? Did you figure it out on yourself? Did you have a mentor? There's no one right way of doing it, but you have to do what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that goes back to like the book and what I do with buyer agency and why I wrote the book. Because there were two huge turning points for me in my business. When I first started coming out of corporate, I showed this client 127 homes over 9 months. Yeah, it was painful. The entire inventory changed over twice. It was awful. And I'm like, man, I don't want to do that again.
You
So
had put new tires and brakes on your car twice during the time you work with them.
yeah, yeah, I mean, it was a good paycheck. It was a $40,000 check because they bought a $1.65 million home.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's amazing. But over 9 months, I
Yeah, yeah,
would
yeah.
have
How,
been
how much
better
did you
off
make per
working at
hour on that
McDonald's.
one?
So there were two basic skills, and those skills still work for me with attraction because it's the same basic thing. I'm not trying to convince people to do anything different. All I'm trying to do is who is open at looking at possibly doing something that might be better for them. So it's not recruiting. And
Yeah.
I've been on both sides of recruiting. I've done it and when I've hired people as an engineer and I've been recruited as an engineer.
Hmm.
And this is not that. Totally, totally different. I mean, how many of you actually pick up a phone call from a stranger that you don't know who it is? You know, we punt it to voicemail. They
Voicemail.
might leave a text message, and then you look at it later and like, oh, okay, I'll call you back or
Yeah.
not. But the whole point is you mentioned it. When you look at profiles, the first thing I did with buyers was, hey, what do you do for work? Because most engineers, not all, most, are typically some form of SC or CS, and you
Hmm.
know what they're going to be. You've heard me talk now. You can tell I'm not an SC. That's the reason why I'm not in engineering anymore. I'm a DI with a trailing C. So no dick jokes, please. It's a family channel. But the whole point is you're going through trying to figure out who are you talking to? What is their behavioral style? And
Hmm.
then you mirror and match them because people follow people they like.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the disc. If you follow what someone's doing and you match what that person is doing, are they talking fast? Are they talking slow? Do they have a lot of energy like Brent Gov blowing it completely out of the water? Or are they, more laid back?
Hmm.
So you mirror and match them for a couple minutes. We're talking 5 minutes. Longest I've ever done is 10. And man, I was exhausted after that.
Right.
But you do it for 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, these people are like, I like him.
Hmm.
Why? I don't know. I just like him.
Right.
That's a big step forward in attraction. So for us, the first thing we did was, okay, what did they tell you? Go call people you know. All right. Well, everyone we know is in New Jersey. We're 4,000 miles away.
Hmm.
Didn't matter. Still called them. Took a little while, but we got several of them.
Yep.
Colorado, we don't know anyone. All right, fine. How do you find people? How do you meet people? How do you meet real estate agents? Open houses, coffee shops, seminars, classes,
Yep.
all of that stuff. So that's how we started to build our sphere. And then, of course, as we started doing deals. So I mean, does any of this sound really ridiculous?
So what's,
No, but that was the first couple. We
yeah.
quickly ran out. That's when my wife started cold calling.
There you go. What's cool about this, and you actually mentioned it a little earlier, is that, you do what you know. And I found that so many people, and I fell victim to this when I first started as well, back in the day, is like, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to be a recruiter because what they imagine in their mind is a whole different approach, right? They think prospector, they think like going after people, sticking your claws at them, being the person where when you walk into the room of the party, everyone turns and walks away because they don't like, oh, they're going to sell me Tupperware again or whatever, right?
Yep.
So, and, and, and they think there's this whole different method that they have to use. And meanwhile, they're over here loving their sales business, great at sales, building relationships, rapport. Their clients would die for them. They would always
Yep.
use them. They refer
Yep.
them. They've got, 90% of my business comes from referrals because I take great care of my clients and I do a good job. And I've got a great reputation in my marketplace. What 3 R's: reputation, repeat, and referral, right? So
Yep.
that's where the business is coming from. And then when they switch over and they go, all right, I'm going to try the fourth R, which is recruiting, and they think they have to go a whole different route. And I'm looking at what you're talking about, and I wrote this down. And like you're like, all right, so you're gonna be in conversation with people. You're gonna mirror their style. You're gonna make them comfortable. You're gonna have conversations. You're gonna ask them questions and be
Yep.
inquisitive, right? Be
Yep.
more interested than being interesting. All right. Then you're gonna when you go
Two
to
ears, one mouth.
right, right. Then you go to build your business and you're going to start off by calling the people that you know, right? And then you're going to think about like, okay, so where do I meet other people? I'm in a new place. Where do
Yep.
I go that I'm going to build more relationships and
Yep.
get to know more people? And then once I do that and I'm helping people, they're going to give me referrals and they're going to introduce me to other people. And I'm like, wait, hold on, were you talking about building your sales business or building your revenue share business? Because that's what you're good at and what you're comfortable with. That is recruiting because what you're doing is
Yes.
you're recruiting buyers and sellers.
Yes.
So,
And the actions are exactly the same. The words are a little different. Yeah,
mhm.
you have to learn some new scripts and some new objections, but hey, didn't we have to learn some new objection handlers with last year with buyers? I mean, Colorado, no, because the laws here are basically the same and didn't change, but 49 other states did.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the whole point. I mean, when my wife started in real estate, there was no internet. No one could look stuff up on their own. MLS books showed up on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So, it's like, how do you change your business when times change? And this is the exact same thing. So it's just slightly different words, very similar skills. And if you're good at doing listings, if you're good at working with buyers, you'll be good at this.
Mhm.
It's you just need to practice. And just like with your production business, role play it, please. Don't practice on other agents.
Right. Right. If you like throwing client parties, throw agent parties, right?
Oh my God, yes, we've
If you
done
like
that.
educating your clients, then like bring people together, do masterminds and other stuff with other agents. Like come from contribution and help
Oh,
them. You know, if you
totally.
like, if you're social, go to the social stuff. If you're not social, go into the different, chat groups and come from
Abs
contribution in those areas.
Absolutely. So you remember when I said a little while ago, and by the way, that's a script I use both with my clients as well as with my agents that I attract.
What's that?
So a little while ago, I said that you hit a ceiling and have to change what you're doing because you need to scale it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not cold calling anymore. I mean, the tech has changed. People aren't picking up the phone. So what do you do? Well, I started teaching a CE class. The biggest I had 80, usually it was 40 people in a room.
Okay.
How many times would someone come up to an instructor at the end of a class and go, "Hey, I'd like more"?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always get one or two that way.
Yep.
I'm most of you don't know Boulder, but it's a small little college town where the majority of the population is in Colorado. It's a small little corridor, about 25 miles. I was talking to people that were 2, 3 hours away.
Mm.
Now, eventually, did I go meet those people? Absolutely. I mean, I would love to go to Vail. I'd love to go to Aspen. So, of course, went out there and met people out there in other areas. But the whole point was I went and met them after we had conversations, after we started to have, some sort of rapport. And once you do that, it grows deeper. So it's like, okay, now they like and trust you. Is this a good fit? What in their business is lacking that they're looking for a fix, or what's changed in their business? Has their
Yeah.
broker retired recently? Have they moved offices? Has their office closed down? There's one agent that we met at an open house who we talked to for probably a year before she joined us.
Mm-hmm.
Another one went to one of my classes and she's in the process of joining right now. And you're going, but Jason, I don't teach classes. So here's the question. If you were to teach a class, what would you teach?
Mm-hmm.
What's your superpower? You know, for me, it was figuring out these buyers because that first buyer was horrific. 9 months, 127 showings. 35 of my last 37 buyer sides, I've taken the clients out once,
Yeah.
maybe twice.
Yeah.
Shown them
That's
maybe
a
some
skill
3 to 5
people want to
houses.
learn.
Oh, yeah. So, and this was before COVID.
Yeah.
So I was out of production for the last 2 years. And before we started, asked me the questions like, so what do you do to bring people in? Well, I'm starting up production again.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because there's an easy way for me to bring people in. Uh, when I was sitting with Dave, I turned around and was talking with somebody else. They're like, so what are you going to do in your first 12 months of production since you're getting back into it? I go, I'm not that ambitious, about a 500,000 GCI. Eyeballs popped out of their heads. They're like,
Yeah.
what? I go, well, our last full year in production, my wife and I, we were doing close to 750. I think it was 742. So huge production numbers. I mean, we were doing 40
Yeah.
million. Now, I don't want to quite go that high, but if you're starting over, what are you going to do? And why are you doing it? Well, money is one reason, but another is I'm now talking with agents who are doing high levels of production. It's if you're starting over, are you going to go for the entry level person who's looking for the 50,000 or $100,000 home? Or are you going to look for the person that does the million or $10 million home
Mm-hmm.
and the agents that work with them? So that I'm very purposefully restarting my business and focusing on who I want to attract by doing the business. And the other part of this is I now have leads that I'm not going to be following up on. So, what is the one thing every single real estate agent says they want more of, even though it's not really what they want more of?
Leads.
Leads. So, I'm going to be handing out leads like Pez candy.
There you go. There you
So,
go.
how do you attract people? Create more business. And now you're going, great, Jason. How are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, what's changed in the last 2 years that's absolutely blown up the stock market as well as made our lives easier? AI, automations. I mean, stuff that I was awful. Let's go back to things I'm awful at, okay? So,
If things are all flat for 400, Alex.
things I'm awful at. So, I hate cold calling. I'm not good at it. I get really depressed. I'm not very good at door knocking either. I mean, bald guy. Nice, narrow, thin shoulders, 200-pound ball guy come knocking on your front door. Who's going to open the front door? I mean,
Got the
seriously.
chain's gonna be on.
I hear doors lock even though I'm standing in the street going, "Hi." No.
Curtains closing.
So what do you do to make things work? Well, I've never bought a lead in my life, but we've advertised, we've done marketing, all that stuff. We've marketed to our sphere. I'm doing the same thing right now. Restarting the business. Great. So how are you doing it? There's a book, Passive Prospecting. It costs, I think, $20. Go
Mhm.
buy it, follow it. It works really
Yeah.
well. The automations on the backside that he doesn't really talk about, those are there too. Those are easy to do. So once you find out how you could build something that scales, and you could plug this into an AI and ask how to do it, it will build something for you, and you can start building a system that will do, or you partner with someone who's already doing it.
Hmm.
And I took the second approach. I partnered.
There you go.
I'm lazy. I like to R&D. Don't forget, I spent 18 years in R&D.
That's
In
leverage.
corporate, it meant rip off and duplicate. That's where
Yep.
most of my patents came from. The whole point is copy what other people are doing, especially if they're telling you about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can tell I'm really excited about this. Um, so many times I've stand in front of classrooms and I literally give the recipe, the instructions, the ingredient list, the whole thing. And I'm looking around the room and I'm going, maybe you will do it. Nobody else in here will.
Hmm.
And someone's like, why are you giving all this away? I'm like, first of all, almost no one will do it.
Yeah.
Out of 100 people, maybe one will do it. Maybe. And what's the chance that one person's in the exact same market that I'm in?
Yeah. What do they say? Ignorance on fire beats knowledge on ice every time.
Oh my God.
I would rather
It's
go out there and take a ton of uninformed action. I had a friend who would always say, let's go do something, even if it's wrong. Because it was like the forward
God,
momentum
yes.
would lead to something, and then you would figure it out on the way versus sitting back and trying to figure it all out and be fully prepared, but not doing anything.
So when Elon Musk started PayPal, he made what, two or three massive pivots before it finally took off and became something that was useful.
Yeah. Look
You
at
know, I,
Amazon.
yeah, I got the nickname in engineering as runs with scissors because I was much more entrepreneurial than I was, you know, I went into engineering because I liked that you could estimate and get close enough. And every other engineer's looking at me going, who are you? No, go 4 digits. But we only need two.
You were not an electrical engineer, were you?
No, I was mechanical. Electrons were pixie dust voodoo. I don't understand. You can't see the electron very easily. But the whole point is, I ran fast and broke stuff.
Yeah.
And okay, that didn't work. What else do we need to do? But by my second, I was with the company about 18 months and I got put on a project that would have cost the company billions if it was late. And
Mm.
most projects were late. And why did they stick this young, wet behind the ears engineer on it? Because I was going to run fast break stuff and probably get something out there that would be close enough. And then they could make something perfect later.
MVP is always the goal, that first goal, right? Minimal viable project or
Yep.
product.
Oh,
Yep.
God, yeah. And this is very much the same thing. So I mentioned advertising. So I'm putting leads out for teaching people how to do stuff. Basically, it's a webinar. How do you get more leads? Okay, well, I'm teaching people exactly the system that I'm doing right now. About a third of the people that register show up, about a third of the people show up, go, I want to know more. And
Mhm.
about a third of those people actually come to the next appointment, and a third of those people actually sign up. So it's called the sales funnel, guys. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Hidden
just
rules
like,
for a reason. It
yeah, it's
naturally
just like the sales funnel for your
self-selects itself.
production.
Yep.
But the whole point is, I'm coming from contribution. I'm trying to help people up their game. Do they have to come to EXP for me to help them? No. I'll be happy to do it the other way, and they pay me for the effort.
Mm.
Okay, great. That money goes directly into my ad sales and offsets the cost of the system and the ad sales. So the cool thing here is I'm trying not to spend money on me spending the ad money. Just like in my production world, who can help cover this? What vendors can help with this?
Mhm.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, but you're spending like $80 a day. It's like, no, I'm not spending $80 a day. The ad spend is $80 a day, but
Right.
I'm not spending it.
That's right.
So who can help you doing this? And it's just like your real estate business. What lender can you partner with? What title partner can you partner with? Are you in an attorney state? Do you have attorneys you want to deal with? All these people are looking to partner because we're the front of their funnels.
Hmm.
So in your production, in your attraction, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
there's this nasty word, co-sponsor. Everyone's like, oh, you can't do that. It's like, why not? This
Wow.
just reset the whole game. Who
Yep.
do you want to partner with? Because in EXP, the definition of co-sponsor is someone who has the relationship and then someone who's local, or someone you have the relationship and someone who has tech you want.
Hmm.
Well, there are a lot of people that have really cool tech. I'm happy to partner with. You know, there's a whole bunch of names that I'm like, oh my God, if we could partner, I mean, what you do with first-time agents, what you do with tech, what you do with, you're in the local market. All my buyers are, all my agents are in.
Hmm. Yeah.
It, and they turn and look at me and go, oh my God, what you're doing with your lead gen is amazing. So part of the lead gen is proof of concept, the fact that I'm in the process of doing it. And it's like, well, how many closings have you had? I go, I've been doing this for 1 month, none. How many leads do you have? Honestly, right now, none because I'm building the systems. I
Hmm.
want to make sure as I turn this on, it flows right. It's about to be turned on. Ask me this in next month, and I'm sure the answer will be very, very different.
Right.
So sometimes you need to go slow to go fast.
Yes.
And this is that time right now for me.
They say
And
slow,
let me tell
slow
you,
is smooth,
that's
smooth
not
is
me.
slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I heard that's a military saying, right? With your gun.
Yep.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. There you go.
Yep.
Slow down to speed up sometimes. Get that process in place.
Oh God, yes.
Run it.
And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And if you heard me before, you know that's not my normal happy place. My happy place is running fast and loose.
Yep.
And
Yep.
right now I'm going slow.
But you
So it's like,
learn. You learn.
oh God,
This is
yes.
there's two ways I try to describe this. One is if you're trying to get through a maze, right? And if you just go, yeah, just drop me in the maze and I'm going to run as fast as I can, like a life-size maze. I'm going to run as fast as I can. Well, you're going to turn a couple corners and slam to a couple walls. Now you recover quickly. Okay, that's not it. Go find the next one and go do whatever. However, if you lifted up and looked down on it from above first and mapped out, okay, I got to do a right, then a left, and then two rights and do whatever, then drop back down in it, you could run all the way through the entire thing without running into any walls. And
Yep.
I will say I'm the person who will look for 45 minutes for the remote control so I don't have to get up every 5 minutes and go change the channel on the TV. And just sit there. It's like I know that a little bit of time on the front end will save me so much time on the back end.
And that's why most agents, both with their attraction business as well as their production business, drop in and do things accidentally, or they do it because they find they like it. What I'm doing this time is something that my wife and I have talked about even when I first joined her business 13 years ago now.
Mm.
It was if you were to design your business, what would it look like? So last week, I think it was Thursday, I sat down, prompted AI on this is what I'm looking for in my avatar, my ideal agent that I want to attract. And I
Mm.
came up with two. It's not kind of bifurcated, but both have very similar qualities. So, great, I've created this thing. What am I doing with it? Well,
Mm.
now I'm creating ads specifically for those type of people that I'm trying to attract.
Yes.
But I'm not advertising, hey, join EXP. No. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get into rapport. How can I pour into these people? What do these people need? What do they need for their business? What are they lacking from their broker? Whatever it is. But if you come from contribution, and that, by the way, is what I'm advertising for.
Mm.
Hey, do you need more leads? Are you struggling with your business? Is Zillow making your agents on your team broker and you can't figure out how to provide leads where they can actually close them at a profit?
Hmm.
I'm looking for a business person, someone who knows their numbers. That's what, top 1%, half percent,
There you
not
go.
common.
Nope.
But if you start knowing what you're looking for, both in your business, who's your ideal client? What do they look like? How old are they? Where are they coming from? Well, why do you want to know that? Well, if you know where they're coming from and what they're looking for, you can start advertising and marketing directly to that. And now instead of casting a wide net and hoping you catch the right one occasionally and throwing the rest back, how about catching everything you're looking for and just hauling in the net and getting everything you want?
That's right.
So,
So that's what I'm hearing, kind of on repeat from you here, as far as like these different, all these tactics that are working and the things that make sense. It's falling. I'm taking notes because I'm learning from you as you're talking here. So I'm taking notes.
I'm
I'm
honored. Thank you.
down. So, and we all are learning from each other. And I'm going like,
Yes.
what's amazing is what you're talking about with AI is the same in dealing with people. The way that you win in those scenarios is first by knowing what to ask and then knowing what to say,
Yep.
right? So
Pretty
first,
much.
right? First you ask and
Oh,
then you
yeah.
tell. A lot of people want to tell before they ask, or they don't know what to ask or anything else, right? And so it's if you're like with AI, the magic is in the prompt. The magic is in asking the right questions,
Yep.
right? And then you get data, you get information. Now you need to know what to do with it. And it's the same thing if you're talking with a person, whether they're a buyer, seller, client, or they are an agent that you want to help
Yeah.
and potentially bring to the company. Is first you have to know what to ask, and you ask the questions and you listen and gather all that information, and then based on what they tell you what to say from there. Right? I mean,
Yep.
that's that component. And when you
Yeah.
you understand, when some of your questions are, who is my client, who am I talking to, what agents am I looking to help, and then based on that, what do those agents typically want, need, fear,
Yep.
where are they winning, what are they
Oh,
excited
yeah.
about, where do I find them, all of those things, and you go, great, now I know what to go do.
So with buyers and with listings, we have buyer intake and listing intake forms. It's a list of questions. How soon are you looking to buy or sell? Why? All that. Same thing for agents. I literally have an agent intake form. It's a questionnaire. Second phase, coaching 101.
Hmm.
Where are you right now with your business and where do you want to go? I
Yes.
mean, this isn't rocket science. This is basically having a conversation with someone. So you ask those two questions. If you get someone who goes, "Oh, I'm at 120 million and I want to go to 320 in the next 20 months," it's like, okay, now we have numbers we can talk about. That's a very small percentage of people I've talked to. A
Mhm.
lot of which is, I just want to double my business. Great. What did you do last year? I had 6 closings. Okay, roughly what was the average price on that? What was your take home?
Mhm.
You start building it and making it concrete. Because I had an agent, she was on a 95-5 split. She was doing, oh, 110 million, 120 million. She's like,
Wow.
there's no way you could do something better than that. I'm on a great split. I'm like, okay, out of curiosity, you want to see what the numbers are.
Was there a cap to your 5%
No,
at
there wasn't.
110 million?
Not only was there no cap, she didn't get it back.
Oh,
So, I ran the numbers and the difference was almost $90,000.
yeah. Yeah.
Did she come over? No.
Amazingly.
Was she open? No. So
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I knew she wasn't open. Is she still in our database? Are we still dripping on her? Absolutely.
Yep.
Has she opened the last 5 emails I sent her? No. But here's one other key thing. When you go in and you're working with a buyer or a listing, if you go in with commission breath, nobody wants to work with you.
Yes.
Same thing here. And I didn't fully understand what it meant on having to be indifferent on the outcome.
Yes. Yeah. Talk about that.
And this is a huge thing that is getting reinforced for me right now because when I was first starting with bringing people in, I had my ideal avatar and I wasn't getting them. I was getting the 70-year-old who was desperate, who needed 5 more years of business and income, and their income's dropping off and they need to double it. And I'm
Hmm.
like, I can help you, but this is not who I'm looking for. So what I'm finding with these people is if you go in and you go, listen, I'll be happy to help you. If you come, great. If you don't, great. I'll still help you.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, they'll want to come towards you versus, well, it's the difference between, someone described it to me, my wife, the difference between hunting or fishing. If you have bait on the end of the hook and you're luring someone towards you, they're swimming towards you, they're coming towards you, they want what you have. If you're tromping through the forest with a gun, shooting at anything that moves, how many people are going to come towards you and want to join you?
Right. They're running away.
So, it's Dave talked about this great. What are you looking for? Oh, both my husband and I work in our business. All right, well, let me ask you a question. What are you doing for insurance? Because those people typically don't have health insurance, or if they do, it's not very good or very expensive or all the above.
Yeah.
If it's, oh, my husband's working in corporate and going to retire and we're going to get insurance through him, it's like, I'm not going to bring up health insurance at all.
Right.
So it's you ask the questions, what are you looking for? And sometimes they don't know what they're looking for, but other times it's like a checklist. You go down and it's like, okay, hey, just not for nothing, this is what I love. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, my husband's in corporate, but he's going to be leaving and joining me in the next 6 months, and we're going to need insurance. So that's important. It's like, oh, well, ding, 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 here we go.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about some of my great experiences. Otherwise, do I talk about it? No,
Yeah.
because they don't want to hear it.
That,
And it's all about them. And
yeah.
this is what I say when I'm talking with buyers or sellers, but also with agents. It's all about them.
That mindset, we talk about like hunting versus fishing or whatever, right? And with fishing, you've got the bait, and say like you want people to they're following you, right? In essence, right? It's
Yep.
one of those things where if you want them to join EXP, you're the gateway, right? If they don't deem you as followable, and Russ Laggett and I just talked about this recently about being followable, right? But
Yep.
if they don't see you as followable, right? If they don't see you as someone who can help them get where they want to go, right? Then they don't follow you and they're not going to listen to your recommendation about moving to EXP. And
Absolutely right.
I had a friend who used to, we used to talk about recruiting and everything else. And he would say, you know, if I don't know if I like you yet, why are you telling me how cool your parents are? Right? Like if you're going to you want to date and marry someone, and they're like, I haven't decided if I like you or not. And you keep talking about how cool your family is. I'm not buying into your family. I got to buy into you first. And they have to believe that you can help them. And so the
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I came from engineering, so my wife just tossed me a couple of engineering buyers, and she goes, "I hate these," and I turned around and closed them. Was one of them was my first one and done, and she's
okay.
like, "How did you do that?" I go, "I know how they think, and I know how they speak." And you know, she was a teacher. He was an electrical engineer. He was about 6'4", maybe 185, 190, tall, lanky guy. And we were joking that, he goes into the master bathroom, or sorry, primary bathroom and sits down. He can't close the door because it'll whack him in the knees. And we're joking about that. He's like, ha ha ha, very funny. And she goes, wow, he's actually cracking up. I'm like, oh, got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he was
I've never
sitting there
seen him
going,
show this much emotion before.
he's like, I'm really freaking out right now. I
Exactly.
mean, it's like, and he's going, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Right.
That's the inside.
Yeah.
But the outside is just like the emotional capacity of a dust bunny.
Yeah.
And once I realized that and then started to really understand what was happening with the disc, it's like, okay, now I know how to talk to these people. More importantly, when they're reacting, what's happening. So with engineers, you know, I do a two-step process. The first time I take them out, and you'll see where I'm going with this in a second, I tell them point blank, you are not going to be able to buy this house. I'm not going to let you. This is a trial run, no pressure. You're just going to see what the process is. So the whole reason why I brought that up is when you're bringing someone on potentially to EXP, depending on their personality, or I should say behavioral profile, depends on do you need to say, hey, listen, I know you don't know me yet, and I don't know you yet. You don't know if I know my collective stuff.
Mhm.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. But the point is, what does this look like? And some of those people need to see what it looks like. They need to go to events. They need to go online and see how easy is it to get a broker? How long do you have to wait?
Yeah. If
You know,
you're
the last
winning
time I
them
did
over with
that was about
emotion and get
38
them all
seconds.
fired up and excited about it so that they make a sudden change in a flurry of emotion, it ain't happening.
No, most people don't. The two most common behavioral profiles are ICs and ISs. ICs are stubborn. They don't move quickly.
Mm-hmm.
ISs, nothing ruffles their feathers. They talk a lot. They're very emotional, but they're steady. They don't want to have their ship rocked, even though, you can't see it. So moving brokerage is rocking the ship.
Yeah.
So how do you overcome that? Well, the desire to make that move, the carrot has to be much bigger than the stick.
Yeah.
Or maybe the stick on them staying is much bigger than, it's like, why did you all of a sudden want to move right now?
Mm.
Oh, they just changed the fee structure. They just took away my favorite tool. Oh, they're closing my office I always go to, and now I have to drive a half hour. Okay. Well, it's just like dealing with buyers. Why did you get off the fence? What's the Ford question that you can ask?
Mm-hmm.
Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, literally the same thing. So you start talking to people about what are you trying to do and accomplish? This you might find, just like buyers, you might find a buyer that goes, "Hey, I was working with this agent, they disappeared, I'm ready to go right now." Doesn't happen very often.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's a process. Usually you're talking 3 to 6 months or a year or longer. A lot of buyers, I've got one right now. They're like, yeah, we're at least a year out. I'm like, okay, you might buy in 6 months. But knowing this couple, it probably is a year because that's who they are. Do you think I'm going to get them to buy something in December? No.
Nope.
I'm just trying to, hey, this is what's out there.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, there's nothing we really like. And it's like, okay, I do that 3, 4 times over the course of a year. They're going to understand they're not going to get exactly what they want.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're dealing with or what the price point is in your market. If you're dealing with a move up buyer who's not a first time buyer, a lot of them are trying to reach one grade above where they're currently looking. Well, taking that back to attraction, isn't that the same thing with people when they move?
Yeah. Yeah.
Aren't they looking for something that they don't currently have or has been taken away? So it's like, okay, if you really want that $500,000 house and your budget's 400,000, as a buyer's agent, how do I help you with that? Well, you could either reduce your price back down to 400 or move further out, which is more preferable for you. Well, with agents, how would you flip that around and use the same skill?
Mm-hmm.
Same questions,
Yeah.
or I should say, same style of questions, different words. So if an agent wants more support and they're not getting it, great. What are you looking for in your ideal brokerage partner? By the way, that's my exact script. Feel free to use it. I stole it from
There you
somebody else.
go. Heard it here first. There's a book called Power versus Force, right? And
Okay.
somebody introduced that concept to me, but it's kind of like, if you take your hands and you push them against each other like this, but if you take away pressure on one side, and you could do this with someone else, like go up against them and push against each other, and then
Yep.
you take your pusher away, stop, just go, arm goes limp, whatever it is. Like say you take a, oh, well, there's no friction anymore when there's no, if one side needs to give up the pressure
Yep.
and the friction goes away, right?
Yep.
And so for that mentality, for that mindset, or that behavioral style, if they feel that you're pushing, they immediately push back. They immediately go the other way. It's one of those things where like I've been giving you these like, and you keep doing the exact opposite, right? And so if they feel that, but
Yep.
you can that's the force, right? You're forcing something, but the power comes from understanding their true needs, understanding
Yep.
their motivation behind it,
Yep.
understanding all of those things, and then equipping them with the ability to make the right decision without them feeling like you are trying to make the decision for them.
Absolutely. You cannot make the decision for them. You can't do that with buyers. You can't do that with sellers. You can't do that with agents coming over.
Why are you with that company? That's so dumb. They charge so much. They don't have this. They
Wrong
don't have this.
questions.
We have all this. It's like, oh man, that cringe when I hear that.
Yeah, it comes back to, all right, buyers know more today about the market than they ever have.
Hmm.
How do you know what they know? How do you know what they know is right? You start by asking questions. The same thing with agents. So you start asking questions to figure out where are they coming from. Question-based selling. I mean, that's a great book that gives you a great starting point. But as you start probing, A, they may start changing their minds, but B, it's also, okay, you have a choice. You can do this or this, which is better for you. Well, you have to pick one.
Mhm.
Which do you want? What ultimately serves you and your family better? And that last one I love, you and your family,
Yeah, yeah.
because
A little guilt
the,
trip in there.
well, it's a little bit of a guilt trip, but it also takes them away for why are you working?
Yeah,
Why do you get up in the morning?
yeah.
Is it because you love to help people, or is it because you need money to pay the mortgage and pay for the kids to go to college eventually and put food in your pet's dog bowl?
Mhm.
All that stuff,
Yeah.
just daily life. So you start bringing it back down to money, and if they need more of it, they're like, okay, all of a sudden someone who's like, oh, I'm not going to listen.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm going to listen now.
Yeah.
So if you ask the right question, and I don't know what the right question is because it's different for everybody,
Mhm.
but the whole point of the question is you get to ask another question,
Yeah. It,
and then you start to get into it's like, oh, you're really Jason's the best conversationalist ever.
that's right.
Really? I asked two questions. You talked for an hour and a half.
Yep. Yep. It's easy for people to be up here with their responses and their whatever and think in these broad, uh, these broad terms. But when you bring it down to practicality, suddenly you got to get real, right?
Oh,
They can give you all the things like, well, I love my broker or I need my office space or blah, blah, blah,
yep.
all that kind of stuff. You're like, awesome. So how you doing on your retirement fund? Right. And they're like, I have no money. And I'm like, cool. How long are you planning on doing this? Right. So now all of a sudden you bring it down to
Or
those practical
college.
terms. Yeah. Right. Right. Well, so how old?
College is a favorite one. Hey, great. Last time we talked, how old's your daughter? Is she like freshman, sophomore? Oh no, she's a senior in high school. Cool. Where's she going to college?
Yeah.
That's a fun one because all
Yeah.
of a sudden, it's
Shit
like,
got real,
oh,
real
private
fast.
school? That's a big check.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, how long have you been saving for her college? Oh, we don't have enough. Oh, so how many more deals do you need to do in order to cover that nut? I mean, you don't do it as a very formal thing. You bring it up along the way. You're having a cup of coffee, you're out for a beer or a cocktail. You're just talking as friends. That's when you bring that up. And it's like, how can I help you? It's like, well, I need another, 20 deals. I'm like, okay, 20 deals. I'm like, so how much more money is that? Because if can I show you a way that you could potentially make more money without doing as many deals?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would that work for you?
These
Or
are
oh, you've got little ones. Don't you want to spend more time with them while they're cute and young before they become teenagers?
right, right. And they don't want to hang out with you anymore. Yeah.
It's
These are real conversations.
yeah,
These are real conversations, but the focus and the emphasis of all of these things, right, is understanding
it's on
where
them.
they're trying to go, what's important to them, and how can you help them get where they want to go? And if that's your mindset
Yes.
going into all of this, is buyers, sellers, agents, doesn't matter. How about just life, right?
Yep.
Other human beings, nobody
Yep.
gets out alive. We're all in it together, right?
Yes, we are.
So we're like, how do I help people around me? If my focus is on serving other people and helping them, right? Then I'm going to find solutions. But guess what? When you become the solution finder for people, you become a leader. You become someone that they want
Yep.
to follow. And they're going to come to you for other things. And they're going to go, this person helped me out. Man, Jason, he's made such a big difference in my business. He might be able to help you as well.
And the other piece of that is look at your own team that you've already brought over, the people you've already attracted. How many of those people, we reach out every once in a while, once a month, twice a month. Hey, what's going on? What problems do you have? I can't tell you how many times the team leaders go, "Oh, you can't help me." I'm like, "Try me. I probably don't know the answer, but I know who you need to talk to.
Yep.
What do
Yep.
you need?" And they tell me, I'm like, "I know exactly who you need to talk to. Let me do a text introduction for you."
There you go.
Do I know the answer? No, but I know where to find it.
Right.
And if I don't know where to find it, I know how I can go find the answer on who I need to talk to. And that starts with the XP world
Yeah, exactly.
or a
Exactly.
phone call
We've
to
got all the
somebody that
resources.
would know. Like
Yep.
Gene Frederick is a great resource. Gene, I have this problem with someone on my team. Who do they need to talk to? Oh, you need to talk to who? So and so. Okay, great. I've never heard of this person. How do I find them?
That's right. Yep. Boom. But you got the connections. You got the
Got the
connections.
connections. And it's all about, you know, they're here, they want to go here. This is coaching 101. Help them build the bridge from where they are now to where they want to go. And they will come back because I have this one agent. She absolutely loved me when she came over. She's doing pretty good on her own. Half hour, hour north. Okay, great. We'd see each other once a year, maybe. 3, 4 years later, it's like, hey, Nikki, what's going on? How can I help? What do you need? I'm thinking about getting into attraction. Great. What do you need? Notice I'm not telling her what to do or how to do it.
Right.
It's what do you need?
Yeah.
And then it's a conversation. It's the exact same conversation as what we had when she came over. So it's doing the same thing. So you can get growth from within. And this is the second piece about attraction. And I briefly mentioned this. At a certain point, it grows without you,
Hmm.
whether you want it to or not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get there right now. I'm still not there. But this is a great example. When people start coming to you going, I am looking for, hey, great. I look at the biggest attractor in my organization right now. It's a team. They might have 20 people. Great. Okay. Now, what happens if they start attracting people not to their team or taking people onto their team they didn't attract? How's that going to blow up their business?
Hmm.
It's a mind shift.
Yep.
They have to change their mindset on what they're looking at. Now, you know, for the last person I just described, there were a bunch of things that blew up her production business. That one thing led to another, led to another, led to an introduction on a famous person who went, I really like you. You remind me a lot of when I was in your position, single mom with 2 kids, blowing up the business, getting things going. Let me help you. She's like, hey, you're probably not going to like what I'm going to say, but she was talking about doing some sort of attraction stuff. I'm going, hey, that's fantastic. That's co-sponsorship. Let me help you. She's like, huh? What?
Hmm. Yep.
And that goes back to that whole piece again. And I'm just getting an alarm that we're getting close to time.
Yeah, we are up at the last minute. So you wrote a book. What's the title of your book?
Title of the book right now is Get Paid, Not Sued on Amazon. If you have, and yes, you can tell I wrote it a year ago, published it a year ago. If you
Yeah.
have Kindle credits, it's free. Otherwise, it's like 15, $20.
Sweet. Awesome. Awesome.
So it
Get
goes
paid,
through
not sued. Yeah.
Get Paid, Not Sue. It goes through
Gotta-
step by step on what you need, what skills you need in order to be able to basically take buyers out, even today, once, show them like 3 to 5 homes and get them under contract.
Nice.
And that you can also use the exact same skills with attraction too.
Love it. Love it. Jason, this is great. I got a page full of notes. I got all kinds of,
Love it.
I'm going to go download all this. But no, this is awesome. And I appreciate you taking some time to share this. I know that people that are watching this are also taking notes and figuring this out.
This was
The,
fun.
the
And
conversation of this, the process. Yeah, how
if
do they
anyone
find you?
wants to reach out with what I'm doing with the funnels and the attraction and the production, feel free. I'm sure Dave will drop my contact info in the link below.
I
Be
will.
happy to walk you through what I'm doing. And again, that's coming from contributions. So
I love it. Awesome, man. Well, as always, it was good hanging out with you. Look forward to the next time.
absolutely looking forward to it. Thanks so much.
Thank you, brother.
All right, cheers.